Have you guys met Paul and Babe? Northeast Michigan is big on the legend of Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox. Today I'm going to take you on a comprehensive tour of Alpena, Michigan. And we're starting in a little town just south of there called Scenic. If you're thinking about making a move, buying a house, selling a house, don't forget to head over to homesbyjw.com and grab your free home buyer's guide or home seller's guide. And you can also reach out to me if you'd like to have a conversation, and I'll be in touch as soon as possible. Thanks. All right, guys, we are driving north through Scenic, and I just wanted to point out this is a cute little kind of odd little town. Great stuff, but there's the Babe and the Blue Ox, or the Babe the Blue Ox and Paul Bunyan that we started at, and I just passed a statue of an elephant that is at like a little store. And then up here on the left, I'll pull in so we can kind of see it. They have Dinosaur Gardens. This is Dinosaur Gardens in Scenic, Michigan. And as you pull into Dinosaur Gardens, there is a big old statue of Jesus with the whole world in his hands. If you went to Sunday school, you know what I'm talking about. And then out there is a dinosaur of some sort, not exactly sure. We have not been here yet, but it's a cool place. We've seen videos on it. And it's definitely something we're gonna do, and probably do a video about it when we go. So I just wanted to give you a taste of what the drive is like. To me, this is one of the most underrated drives in the state. I'm on US 23, headed up the east coast of Michigan, and you can start in Bay City and head up M13 and up by Standish. It turns into US 23, and you go through small towns that are on Lake Huron. One of the claims to fame in Alpena, as we pull up to this sign. The sign says 45th parallel. We are halfway between the equator and the North Pole. That's an interesting fact. And it is right here. I mean, obviously it goes, it stretches around the world. But we are halfway between the equator and the North Pole, just south of Alpena. And you can see little marshlands. And beyond that is the marshy wetlands, and beyond that is Lake Huron and the Thunder Bay. So, kind of a neat thing in Alpena. I am not sure how to pronounce this, but I'll try it out. This is Mich-e-ke-wis, I believe, Mich-e-ke-wis something park. They're actually adding some volleyball courts here, which is cool. Right on Thunder Bay, you can see that in the background. And today, they're having a little farmer's market here. So it's kind of busy. This park is pretty large though. It goes at least 100 yards down the bay, with a lot of picnic tables and grills and things like that. So the next one we're going to go to is probably the crown jewel of the parks. So this is Starlite Beach and Park. This is a large park and the biggest beach in Alpena. All right, guys, this is Starlite Beach in Alpena. It's the biggest beach in town. Right on the Thunder Bay of Lake Huron, and the park that's attached to it is pretty awesome as well. You can see back here we've got a playscape. Over here we've got a splash pad that is seasonal. I think actually today is the last day that it's open for the season. It does get chilly in September, October up here, so you have to kind of beware of the weather if you're talking about water stuff. But behind me over here, you've got Pompeo's. It's a Mexican bar and grill. Great food in there, nice atmosphere. I like it. You can sit outside, watch the water. To the north, over here behind me, you can see town in the distance and the marinas down there, and there's a couple more beaches that we will take a look at. So, cool spot, Starlite Beach. That was some drone footage of Blair Street Park, which includes a little beach and a pier. The beach, you can actually walk from Starlite Beach to here. Goes behind a couple houses and a little hotel, motel, lakefront vacation cottages place. And Blair Street, the pier, and the park. It's really nice, just a little smaller park area. Before we move closer to town, we're going to take a little detour and check out a house that has recently sold in the area. It is on a smaller lake, not too far away. So we're going to check that out. All right, guys, so this is a community that is on an inland lake called Mud Lake. And the one that just sold still has a sign in the yard, actually. This one here, oops, it's got that pole barn in front. It's got a large, looks like a shared driveway there. And as we roll a little further, you can see it's a ranch house. The lake in the background. This was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, had over 2,200 square feet finished. And you can see nice lot. This is one of the smaller inland lakes in the area. This one sold for $232,000. Lakefront property, big yard, pole barn. Looks like it's a heated pole barn. It does have a little chimney coming out of there. And over 2,200 square feet for $232,000. That's nice. That is a pretty affordable lakefront property if you're looking for some nice views, some fishing, maybe get a pontoon boat out there. If you're looking to be on a lake in northeast Michigan, this is a pretty nice price point. So now we are going to head into town and see what we can find there. We're headed back toward the beach to head into town along the water. And I wanted to point out this neighborhood. Neighborhood is south of town, not far at all from the beach. And there are just a ton of nice little houses. If you were looking for a place in northern Michigan where you can walk to a fantastic beach, this is a great neighborhood. There's a lot of little cottage-sized homes. They can, I'm sure upwards of 90% of them are year-round residences. But I am also sure that there are places in here that people use as cottages or even Airbnb vacation rental type houses. And it's a really nice neighborhood. Sidewalks everywhere, mature trees. You can find, you see this one over here on the right, you can find a place with a large yard, maybe even an additional storage building. It would be, in my opinion, a great place for a cottage or a vacation home that you could rent out, or anything like that. Nice place to downsize to if you're considering retirement. So here we are back to the Blair Street Park, and we're going to turn left and head toward town with a couple more stops along the way before we get to town. So on the right, these are lakefront properties. Nice sandy beach behind them. Now these properties will range anywhere from $500,000 to That one there, probably well over $1 million, possibly $2 million, depending on size and finishes. So this is a really nice area. If you live in the area across the street, this is a great place to go for a morning walk or a bike ride. There's another park with a beach there. That's Thompson Park. Just a small little green space lot with a couple picnic tables and a nice beach. There was a house there that was for sale. That one is kind of a fixer-upper, and that one is currently listed for $650,000. So here we're coming into, this is Bayview Park on the right. This is probably the crown jewel maybe of the city parks here. Pull in this little parking lot here. So they've just finished, see that blue fence? Behind that fence is tennis courts and pickleball courts that just went in this summer. And then over here, as I pan around to the left, they also put in 3 full basketball courts. So this is a great little park area. Tennis, pickleball, basketball. I will pull around the other way, but beyond those trees, behind the basketball court, there is a music shell and stage where they can have concerts. I know occasionally they do some more modern music concerts, and it seemed like in the summertime they were doing a lot. Once a week they would have the Alpena concert band play one evening a week in there, which is nice if you like music. So we'll pull in here. Bayview Park is right next to the Marina. Here, once we clear those trees, you can see the music venue a little closer. So that's nice. The other side of that hill, you can sit on the hill, you can bring your own chairs, kind of thing. This is all parking for the park, and also that building there is the Alpena Yacht Club, because the Marina is just to our left here. You'll catch as soon as I turn around. Right here you're looking at Thunder Bay, so down to the right are the beaches that we just took a look at. And right here in front of us is the break wall. So you can walk out on the break wall. It goes out to where the lighthouse is on the other end there. So there's the break wall. There's the lighthouses, and those mark the Thunder Bay River. And then this is the Alpena City Harbor. So if you're a boater, they do have some live aboard capabilities here. Most of these are weekenders or fishing boats that stay here for the summer. So you contact the Alpena Municipal Marina, I think is what it's called. They do have a public boat launch there, full bathroom facilities. So here's the boat ramp to launch your boat. We're about to turn right on Chisholm Street, which is also US 23. Kind of turns north to go through town here, northwest. And we're coming up here on 2nd Avenue. 2nd Avenue is where there's a lot of restaurants, and there's a movie theater. Straight across right there on the corner is Scoop's Ice Cream Shop. A lot of different places to go here. Stroll down the street on a Saturday afternoon, have a glass of wine, check out some local shops and stores. On the left here on the corner is Cabin Creek Coffee. Great little place to stop and get a warm-up or your favorite sweet treat. And then a little further down the street, this is Park Place, there is a nice little restaurant called Red Brick. Red Brick is like a nicer bar and grill type place. Here we are crossing, this is actually a drawbridge that crosses the Thunder Bay River. And then one more little restaurant I want to show you is right here on our left. It's called JJ's. JJ's has fantastic pizza, nice atmosphere. They do catering. Yeah, cool place. JJ's, the owner loves taxidermy, so they have like a 20-foot alligator hanging over the bar, as well as a wolverine and a ram, like a mountain goat, and a few other animals in the bar. So it's a fun place. Now we are on the northeast side of the Thunder Bay River. This is an old paper mill on our left. And then this blue building pull in here. So there is a lot of research that's done in this area as far as weather and water. And this is the Great Lakes Maritime Museum. You can find in the Thunder Bay there are a ton of shipwrecks, and the exact number escapes me right now, but upwards of 15 to 20 shipwrecks that are out there. They're marked by buoys. You can snorkel them, and a lot of them will be covered by the Glass Bottom Boat Tour that runs from here. So that's a cool thing you can do in Alpena. I think they do 2 trips a day from the Maritime Museum and Boat Center. So if you're in Alpena as a tourist, you should check that out for sure. Alright guys, in town we crossed back over the river, took a right on Chisholm, and headed northwest out of town. On the right is my Michigan Medical Center. This is one of the major employers in Alpena. Obviously a hospital in any small town is going to be a major employer. They do a really good job with what's called bread and butter cases. It's a nice hospital there. My wife is actually working there for the summer, which is why we are here. So that is my Michigan Medical Center, Alpena. And we're gonna come around the corner here, and I'm gonna show you another park that's pretty cool. So this is Island Park and Nature Center. As we pull up here, I mean, you see it is a very busy, popular place. You can rent kayaks here because the Thunder Bay comes into Lake Besser, which is a small, no-motor lake. So you can rent kayaks, or you can take the pedestrian bridge right there, covered pedestrian bridge, across to the island. And there are somewhere between 1 mile and 2 miles of trails that you can hike. We've actually hiked it and run it a couple times. Really, really cool. Views of the lake pretty much, you know, at every turn. There are some trails that run through the middle as well. They've got some turtle nests out there that are protected, which is cool. But if you like to get out in nature and just, you know, feel the breeze, breathe the air, and reset a little bit, this is a great place to do it. It is connected. So in Alpena, the reports differ, but there's a bi-path, so a walking or biking pathway. They call it the Alpena Bi-Path, and it is 14 or 18 miles depending on what kind of little detours you might take and stuff like that. But it runs right past here, so you can make this part of your trip if you're taking the path. They do not allow bikes on the island, so it is purely walking or running pedestrians out there. But again, very nice, very scenic, very quiet. Real nice way to spend some family time or some alone time if you need that, out in nature. So now we are leaving Island Park, and we are going to head out and take a little bit of a drive and check out some other nearby lakefront properties to give you an idea of what else is in the area. Stay tuned. driving along Lakewood Drive on Long Lake. So Long Lake is northwest of Alpena. It's inland. And there's a house on this road that recently sold. I wanted to show you kind of what you get for $325,000 on an inland lake near Alpena. This is a lot larger lake than Mud Lake. So you've got the house here. And then you've also got the property here. So that's not a bad deal. And this house, it's a nice, newer, updated house. Sold for $325,000. It is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 1,162 square feet. So 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 1,162 square feet. As I look at the listing a little closer, it looks like it's lake access, lake adjacent. So you've got views and you've got access, but not lakefront. So if you want to be near a lake, I know the properties on this lake, if you want a year-round, nice, updated residence, you're looking upwards of $500,000, many times upwards of $1 million to be on this lake. Smaller cabin type properties, you're going to be in that $300,000 to $400,000 range. It is a very nice area. This is about a 15-minute drive from my Michigan hospital. So if you're looking at a transfer for your job to my Michigan Alpena, you could be in this area. It's about 15 minutes away. So if you're a nurse or a doctor that's on call a lot, this definitely would fit that bill. And it's a really nice, quiet area, all sports lake, a lot of space out there, so you're not constantly bumping into other boats. And of course, lakefront property, they're not making any more of it, so the houses do crowd around it in some areas, but it is also still very, very natural. It's a really nice community. We have a few friends that live on or near this lake out in this area, and it's a very nice spot. So I'll drive around a little bit so you can get more of an idea of what it looks like. But that house, lake adjacent, lake views, $325,000 for 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 1,160 square feet. So something to think about. All right, we are going to head to one more listing that is on Thunder Bay on the peninsula. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Between now and then, we've got about a 15-minute ride, so enjoy some of the footage. Alright guys, on our right is another big employer in Alpena. This is the Alpena cement plant. Covers a huge footprint north of town. And you kind of drive past it on your way out to the peninsula. All right, it was a rustic drive to get in here. We're in North Point Shores, and on our right you're going to see the Thunder Bay momentarily. There it is. So these houses are looking across the Thunder Bay, kind of at Starlite Beach and the rest of the beaches we saw, and toward town. This house here, which is a nice little cabin, nice little cottage. You can see the view out the backyard. Not a lot to look at from the road. This one is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,120 square feet, and it sold recently in August for $390,000. So this is definitely some high-priced real estate. $390,000 for 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and 1,100 square feet. Sitting on a crawl space, but you can see it is literally feet from Lake Huron and the Thunder Bay. So it's a beautiful setting way back in the woods. See the bay's kicking up some maybe 2 to 3 footers out there today. Great spot if you're looking for a cottage on a great lake. Amazing views. This is actually a spot on Lake Huron where you can get a sunset view, because we are headed southwest. We're pointed southwest right now, so you can get a sunset view on the sunrise side of the state of Michigan. Pretty nice. So I think that's going to wrap up our little tour today. I really appreciate you hanging out with me, taking this ride. You can see this is a rustic area, but it's only about 10 minutes from Alpena downtown, so you're not far. If you want to go to dinner, you need something from the store, you're not far away. But look at the seclusion you get out here. What an amazing place. Alpena does have a lot to offer, whether you're a boater, whether you're a beach goer, or if you just want a rustic cabin in the woods. We didn't look at any of those today, but they of course are here as well. And it's a beautiful place to call home, or your weekend or summertime escape. So as always, if you're looking to make a move, you can connect with me or just request your home buyer's guide or home seller's guide through my website. I am at homesbyjw.com. Homesbyjw.com. I also always appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Make it the best day ever. Thanks.